From a dungeon to injury-prone ceilings to old farm relics. This is everything interesting about our 1930s farmhouse. Like I mentioned, the house was built in the 1930s. I think it was about 1936, if I remember correctly. There was an addition done right there in the 1970s. The garage was built in 2019. A little backstory, my family bought this farm in 2019. I graduated high school in 2019. Right before COVID, I was about to go out to college, ended up staying home, then became a YouTuber, and my parents convinced me to create this channel, so now I'm stuck at the farm. I love it though, but that was not always the case. In 2019, I hated the idea of moving here. Once we moved, it grew on me and I love it. It is the best thing ever. This house was built in the 30s. The reason why was because the old one was burnt down. The owners were like, we're never gonna have a house burnt down again. We have the house right here, and while they were building this house, they were living in this pig barn. Ooh, I think I'm a little high maintenance to do that. That's rough. When they were building this house, they're like, we are never going to have a house burned down ever again. So most of the main part of the house is 100% brick. There's a couple weird things that come with that, and I'll show you later. Right here's the main part of the house, and here you can see the siding. That was the addition done in the 70s. And then the garage right here. We remodeled 99% of this house before we moved in. The brick on this house was custom made, so we couldn't get the exact same brick. If you look closely, they're two different bricks, but it was close enough and it was the best we could do. I'm gonna show you the two really cool, unique things on the outside before we go inside, because it is the warmest it's gonna be outside today, right now. And so I wanna take advantage of that. It feels like -1, by the way. Right here is a bell. It's a really old bell. 1886 is when it was made. That's an old bell. We almost never use it because, well, it's loud. Would you look at that? Ringing the bell summons Scovis. Hey, buddy. Now this last outdoor part, that it's more of a unique feature. I don't know if it's quite really cool because it's actually kind of annoying sometimes. It has to do a lot with the Amazon drivers. I don't know how people are like, Amazon drivers are the best delivery drivers. It's UPS and FedEx, way above Amazon where we live. This is our front door. We have this sidewalk that leads to it. We have the driveway, but delivery drivers always deliver to our back door. Pause. This is our back door. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of bushes. They go through the bushes, through a whole bunch of snow to deliver packages right there, instead of going to the front door where you don't go through any snow. I think Amazon has a requirement where the delivery drivers can't have an IQ above like 10. I'm being a little bit mean, but it's also true. When we remodeled this house, we couldn't go through the front door for a little bit, and we didn't have this back door yet. And so we'd have to go through this door right here. The funniest thing is my nephew, who at the time, he was probably like 4 years old, he loved it. And so he would always want to go through the window instead of the door. I am freezing cold. Let's go inside and show you the unique quirks on the inside. It is cold. I'm keeping my jacket on for the time being while I'm showing you the inside. First, we're on the main floor. Right here, you can see some of the biggest differences of before and after in the photos. This is what it looks like now. When we were first looking at this house, we're like, hey, let's take down this wall real quick and we could open up the space a little bit more. Part of the unique quirk of it's all made out of brick, that's brick right there. And so you can't really do much of taking walls down. That gives you a lot of issues when it comes to electricity. So all of the exterior walls, so this wall right here goes to the outside, we're able to fur it out. So about this much, you put wood against the brick and then you put sheetrock. Then you could bring electrical where you need it. And there's a lot of weird outlets in this house. This outlet is at my chest. When do you need an outlet at your chest? They had a wood burning fireplace right here and that heated a house a lot, but there was also like 2 other ways they heated this house, and I'll show you later on. We converted it and put a gas fireplace here. I'm here on the toilet. This isn't really unique to actually a farmhouse. We have a bidet in this bathroom, which is amazing, by the way. My 3-year-old nephew was here this summer. He came to use this toilet. He sat down and he called it the spicy toilet. And he's been terrified ever since, and he has never used this toilet since. I thought that was just funny, and it kind of aligns with this video, so I just wanted to add it. We have 2 of these sliding barn doors. Would you look at that? That's my mom. She's doing work. What's really cool about these doors is on the farm, when we first bought it, there was this older barn. Super sketchy. No one was allowed to go in it because it just took a brief wind and it would come down. What we did is Jim, he made these doors out of the wood from that barn, and he said he was pulling it down and the barn was shaking, and that's super sketchy. I'm glad he didn't die because that would really suck. We love Jim. The trim for these 2 windows are also made out of the wood. The barn we didn't end up using is still on this farm, and so it's pretty cool. The ceilings in a house you can't change, and also they're not all consistent in this house. Right here, by the way, I am 6'3". I know you guys don't believe me, but I am. I'm able to touch the ceiling here, so that's about, I don't know, taller than me. Right here's the stairs to go upstairs. We're about to go upstairs, but I want to show you the ceilings. Yeah, if I walk forward, I'll break my nose. Whenever I go downstairs, I have to go like this, otherwise I die. Okay, I probably won't die, but I will get a concussion. Maybe not a concussion, but a really bad headache. There's ceilings where I can't go very high, and that's in the bathroom. Let's go check out my bathroom. This is the bathroom. Welcome. I need to bring you along. All right. It's not a very big bathroom. Camera's not very wide, so I have to angle it up. It's not very tall. There's a lot of unique features just in my bathroom. This is kind of the funniest one that everyone's shocked whenever they use this bathroom. That's my shower. Come shower with me. Just kidding, I'm not showering. So you could also see this is the shower head right here. I hit it a lot on accident, and so there's always shampoo on it. I mean, at this point, I'm just totally used to it. Everyone's like, how do you shower like that? I'm like, I don't know, I just do. It's really not bad at all. I got stuck in here once. Oh well, all right. The ceiling's so short, you can't put anything in the ceiling either because it is brick. In a bathroom, that's really difficult because you need air circulation or there's going to be mold, and there's also a lot of steam because, well, I take really hot showers in the winter because it gets freaking cold here. Because there was no air circulation, the ceiling peeled off. And then we had to essentially shave it off. We had it redone, but we were like, we need something to flow the air here. This is an outside wall right here, and what we did is on this wall, we added this fan, because when you don't have a fan, you realize how nice it is, and so I am grateful for that fan every day that I turn it on. Unfortunately, there is no bidet in this bathroom. No spicy toilet in this bathroom. It's hard to get the electricity anywhere where you could plug it in. And you came in the shower with me, and now I'm going to show you my room. Let's go check it out. Come with me. First of all, I love my bedroom. There's so many windows and it's bright, natural light. It is the best room out of all the rooms. Those aren't the unique things about my bedroom. It's my closet. This is essentially going along with, you can't move the walls in this house. I've never seen anyone with a smaller closet than me. I think it's for a reason. I think it's because I would have way too much BYU gear if I had more closet space. Be prepared. Right here is my closet. You're gonna see the clothes I have. It's a lot of black t-shirts. That is the full closet I have. Luckily, we have a couple extra rooms in this house, so I do use an extra closet. If you follow both of my channels, you know at this point, I've lost 44 pounds in the last like 6 months. And with that, you kind of have to get rid of a lot of clothes. That's mostly what this closet is. And so it's really just a ton of clothes I don't use anymore. So I need to go through it, and I am not gonna show you that closet. It's a mess. Another unique quirk about our house is how it's heated and cooled. It's heated by radiant heat. Here's one of our radiators. It's the one in my room, at least. Essentially hot water that radiates the heat into the house. It's not radiation. I'm not going to become a superhero because radiation is heating my house. I wish it was, though. The unique thing is my room gets the hottest and coldest out of all the house. In the summer, it gets super hot in here, and I just barely got an air conditioner that goes on the window so I could get it down to 60 degrees at night here. I'm high maintenance when I sleep. I love it to be 60 degrees. I love the same routine every night. In the winter, it gets down to 50 degrees in here, and so I have to bring in a space heater sometimes. That's kind of what happens when you have a ton of windows and it's not the best insulated room, but it's totally worth it for the view, and I just love this room. Before I show you the dungeon, there's one last quirk in my room. You've been seeing some of this blue tape in my room. Half of it is because I'm kind of crazy. Okay, about 3/4 of it is because I'm kind of crazy. The other quarter is bugs are after me. They hate me. 3 summers ago, there's a hole in our brick on the outside of the house just out right here. There was a whole wasp nest in my wall. It was nuts. Absolutely nuts. Thousands and thousands of wasps in there. What I did is I actually drilled a couple holes in here. On the outside, I put clear silicone caulk, and so they were in there and they've died. We haven't had an issue since, but the problem is they would come and there's ways to get through the windows and I would have wasps in my room. What I did though to prevent them coming back is I put this blue tape and bugs would not come in as much. I then had a problem this summer with ladybugs. All right, let's go to our basement and I'll show you the dungeon. Okay, the basement's actually finished, and so this isn't the dungeon. At least what we call the dungeon. Come with me. This is the dungeon. I'm not even sure how it got its name. Yeah, probably because it feels a little bit like a dungeon. It's the basement, you know, you got a lot of brick. When I was talking about the air in this house, I talked about an air exchanger. Right here where I'm sitting used to be a giant cast iron coal heater. That coal heater was still here when we bought the house. It took 2 guys a full week to get that cast iron heater out. It was so big and heavy. But with it, there was a flute. It's kind of like a chimney. Right here is where all the heat would go into, and there's a way to clean it down there. And what's cool is what we essentially turned this chimney into. And we have a lot of air purifiers in our house. Every house, at least in Minnesota, if they're over 5 years old, has mold. That's just the nature of reality. We had some health issues in our house, and so what we did is we tested our house for mold, and we had mold. And so we're like, how do we fix this the best way possible? The issue with our house is we don't have that forced air. There's no air movement. We had a couple solutions for it, air purifiers, and here's this other big one. It's this giant machine right here. This is an air exchanger. Right here, we bring in air from the outside. It turns it into the right temperature, goes through this HEPA filter right here. And that's where these tubes come into play. These tubes go all the way into this essentially chimney. We have 3 spots that these tubes connect to in our house. The main floor brings the air down here. The upstairs and the bottom floor, it brings the fresh and clean air into the house. That's a cool way we were able to use the flue. We're able to utilize it, which is really awesome. This house, the basement would flood 4 to 6 inches of water every spring. We had to do a few things to fix that. We had to dig to the footings, which is below this floor right here. We'd put a bed of rocks and a 4-inch pipe that has holes in it. What would then happen is the pipe would collect the water into this machine right here. This machine has a sump pump and pumps the water across the driveway to the other side. This then helps our house not flood. We also graded the house outside in a way where we could control where the water goes to instead of just a flat ground. Here's the last little quirk. We have to go outside for this one. Back outside, it is freezing cold. Right here, the house ends here, the garage starts here. When we were building, our city is pretty difficult to work with sometimes. They said that we could not build another dwelling because they're worried, oh, we're gonna rent it out or whatever it may be, because we do have an upstairs to the garage. That's actually where I do a lot of my YouTube stuff. They're like, it needs to be connected to the house. We're like, Okay, that's weird. What we did is we poured a footing to connect the two foundations together. So we were just complying with the city, and once the inspections came out, the inspector was like, why did you do this? And we're like, well, they had to be connected, so we connected them. He's like, well, you're just going around the rules. Well, we're still following the rules. I don't think he was very happy with us, but it passed the test. So technically the house and garage are connected, but we still have to go outside to go from one to the other. In reality, when we remodeled this house, it cost a lot more than expected. And so it would have been more economical to tear down this house and build a new one instead of remodeling it with all that we did. But we get to keep this fun, unique house. Why be frustrated with it when you could be like, yeah, this is pretty cool and unique. Not many houses have this. That's the fun stuff about our 90-year-old house. I hope you enjoyed.